ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 2 of Galactic Brikwars. I've finished one bottle of my famous ginger grouse, and I've opened up bottle number 2, so here we go. Now, after the last half an hour episode, I had basically made the first 23 turns into Galactic Brikwars. Starting off from the Sidious system, we colonised Hassi 2 and Anshar Kine 2. We found more than enough mysterious hardware, and I've just found some more, and that finished off my research into supportive population, which raised the morale of my expected worlds. Now, I'm not going to move into warfare yet, nor am I going to go further down the engineering path. What I am going to do is go down colonisation, and what I'm going to research is planetary improvement, which should improve the quality and even the quantity of the worlds I'll be able to colonise. Eventually. At the moment it's a case of space is empty. We haven't had first contact yet. We are at the very beginning of what will be, in the terms of greater history, our golden age. Planetary improvement. Half of them are fun of moving to a new place is fixing it up to suit your needs. That's harder when the new place is an entire alien planet. Blah 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 yada yada yada. Now we have 3 options. Soil enhancement, which will give +1 food to all my worlds, which means another population point for all of them. Accelerated growth, does what it says on the tin. And enhanced production will increase the raw production of every one of my worlds. What I'm going to go with for now is enhanced production, because we need that extra boost to get my worlds off of the ground early on. That way I can support myself better off when I meet, eventually, other civilizations. So at the moment we are earning, we've got growth, we've got 100% approval on every single planet, and planetary soil upgrades. So by building this, it will unlock 1 salvageable tile, which I can then build on every world. And there we go. So unsalvageable space junk. Poop. So my survey ship just passed through a radiation storm. Big galactic event here. So this will affect every empire, and every empire in the game will be set with these 3 choices and pick them as appropriate for how I've designed each of the races based on how the Brikwars members designed each race. So one of our traders has been approached by representatives from an association of black market traders. They're offering us a wealth of insider information on the other civilizations in the galaxy, enough to negotiate incredibly favourable terms, boosting trade income on all our routes. In exchange, they want access to some of our current research projects. We're not going to use any unfair advantage in trade negotiations, and we're certainly not going to give away our research, turn them away and inform our neighbours of the possible security breaches. Well, I don't have any neighbours yet. Make the deal, but ensure we're giving away no research information critical to our security. Offer to make the deal, then use some large weapons to simply take the trade secrets back from them. We can afford a war with the shadowy black market. Yeah, let's go malevolent. Being malevolent's fun. And we have another ideology point, so let's see what we've got. Aggression. Grants a free frigate. Intimidating unlocks the intimidation center. Greed. Ooh. Uncharitable. Plus 10% planetary income. And scary. No penalty from sharing borders with another civilization. Let's go with greed. Use that extra dosh. We found more space junk, and let's see if I can rush. No, I can't, not yet, but I should be able to rush it soon. More research. So enhanced production, all of my worlds should build stuff a little bit faster now, and the next technology I'm going to go into is xeno-industrialization, which will be the next step up on all of my manufacturing plants and all of my research capability building. So let's go with that. More mysterious hardware, which has boosted our xeno-industrialization by 25%, and whoa, really rushed it along there. So here we go, research has come up again. Everything is harder on the surface of an alien world, every machine we own having to be adjusted for the differences in gravity or atmosphere, all our old constants and their miracle shortcuts having to be thrown out and rewritten. So what we have here is a manufacturing specialization, which will give plus 10 manufacturing, research, which will give plus 10 research, and industrial specialization, which will reduce the manufacturing cost of each by 5%. So to get an early step up, because I don't know where any of the other empires are right now, and it's already been half an hour without encountering anyone, is research specialization. So I'm going to try and rock and roll up the next colony ship. There we go. We found more lost and found in space. Oh, our next colony ship is produced, and we'll send it off to the Anshar-Kine system. And the next world is Werner 2. So, oh, nope, not a constructor. Colony ship. Pardon me. More debris. So you get some goons on that surface already. Right, pods. Our scouts report that significant portions of the planet are inhabited by sentient pod-like creatures. These pods bond with other sentient life. Those who are bonded by these pods experience significant physical pain at all times, but have heightened intelligence. Oh, we are so doing that. Because I'm an evil son of a bitch. Another ideology point. Improve the class of our first 5 worlds by 1. I'm not even going to look at the other options. I'm just going to do that. So Scythia has +1. So what we're going to do on Scythia is build a colonial hospital, which will give +25% growth, and then 2 Xeno farms, which will give us more food, therefore more people, therefore more tax, more manufacturing, more research. On Hassi 2, we are going to build 3 factories. On Anshar-Kine 2, we're going to build 3 factories. And Anshar-Kine 1, we're not going to do anything yet, but these worlds are going to crack on. Because eventually, as development goes on, these worlds will become my core worlds, so to speak. In game terms, that means feck all, but in making up your own story as you go along, these 4 worlds will be kind of the inner worlds, the inner cradle of the Empire, spreading out to the outer worlds and then the outer colonies. You know, it's just how far each world is really developed. It's just, I like to think of them as being the inner core worlds, because I'm kind of an RP git like that. Right. Next up on the list, we are actually going to pour some early research into weapon systems. Unfortunate genius. A mysterious orb floating in deep space scans your survey ship before self-destructing. In the aftermath, one of your less intellectually gifted crew members shows remarkable and sudden brilliance. He makes an astounding technological breakthrough before his head explodes. Literally. Yeah, that's going to need wiping off. But we now have completed weapons research. So now we get a specialization. Now, targeting specialization gives +10 accuracy on all of them. Miniaturization gives a -10 mass, which means I can fit more of them on my ships. And production makes them all 10% cheaper. Now, being the Scythian Empire, it's going to be miniaturization, because that's just how advanced they are. Everything is tiny and miniaturized to the point where it's practically all solid state. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm going to town on that shit. So, as we rock and rolled on down the list, the Ansharkine system, Ansharkine 1, has finished. So I'm going to set it up to build some factories, and when these two worlds are finished on their factories, I'm going to tell them to build a shipyard and use it as my primary shipyard for constructors and utility ships, and start chunking them out so every system has its own individual starbase. And then, as time moves on, oh fuck's sake, I can't stop burping, grab this Illyrium, grab that antimatter, Durantium, Thulium, and start chunking out some real resources I can use for my empire. So, let's see what else the game has in store for me. Not much for that done. Oh, more cargo pods. Oh, I was wondering when myself. Oh, another galactic event. Outbreak. Ansharkine 1 has been overrun by a strange alien nova virus. It rapidly kills about 5% of those it infects, but also has a curious side effect of making those who survive profoundly more intelligent. Bloody hell. Our scientists have found a means to cure it, but some wonder if we should consider allowing the disease to flourish and take the advantage of its side effects, considering it's already got plus 10%, 50% to research. Having another 50 and 10 pragmatic points is just a walk in the park. So, civilization ability, pods, but the pragmatic hasn't come up. Unless civilization ability means the disease. No. What the fuck? Does it only apply one at a time? Well, that's a slice of shit. The outbreak didn't actually count towards that world at all. That's a bug. That's a disappointing bug. Oh well. Miniaturization specialization. We've reduced the mass of our existing weapon systems, and what we've learned will apply to future weapons as well. Awesome. And down here, on this little useless blah blah blah, Age of Expansion, Age of War, Age of Ascension, it doesn't really count for much. It's supposed to gauge where you are in the game, but I find it to be a profoundly useless feature, so make of that what you will. Now we are 45 weeks, 45 turns into the game. We're approaching the end of our first year, and still space is empty. See how we're going with the shipyard. We can't rush our next colony ship, but our list of ships that we can produce now we have weapons has gone up. Defense systems have just been constructed, so we have shield specialization, point defense specialization, and armor specialization. I'm going to go shields because shields are awesome. And then we're going to crack it on. Right, breath of fresh air. While investigating a gaseous anomaly, your surveys find a previously unknown element with remarkable properties. One of the senior scientists among your crew adapts your existing life support systems to utilize the strange element, greatly enhancing the system's efficiency and therefore your fleet's range, plus 25% range to all ships in fleet. But there were no ships in that fleet, it will just be the survey ship. So it's got 25% on top of its existing range. Yeah. So 3 weeks left of the year for the first year in game, and we've just researched shield specialization. Now what I'm going to move into next, just to finish off the hat trick, is militarization, which is planetary defense, planetary invasion, and resistance forces. go back over to the shipyard again and buy that colony ship out because I desperately need more worlds. And I'm actually going to send it out to Malleus 2, further down the spiral arm, because Werner 2 is of a far lower quality. And then I'm going to build another colony ship, because the more space I have, the better. Now you can see over here, from Hassie 2, my influence range is now exactly the same as my ship range, or at least for the Intrepid class anyway. So let's get to Malleus 2, Sentient Planet. Ooh, your scientists tell you there's something strange about this planet. It talks to us, they explain. That strange planet shouldn't do that. Although the planet seems disinterested in your day-to-day affairs, it may be possible to communicate it with it further. What are your orders? Begin communicating with the planet. It turns out the planet is really boring. All of its stories are about dirt and take forever to tell. Nevertheless, your researchers managed to learn a lot about dirt. So long as the planet's not bothering anyone, it can do what it wants. In fact, let's see if we can find some way to turn it into a tourist attraction. If the thing has been around for billions of years, it knows a lot. Threaten the planet with deep core mining unless it reveals its precious planetary secrets. Let's go with benevolent for once. And, ooh, we can build factories on the top pretty much right away. And then a planetary soil upgrade, which will make it feel better about itself because we made its skin all pretty full and nice. So, research is the next thing, militarization. So we have enhanced training, which increases the effectiveness of my soldiers on invasions, defensive fortifications, which is plus 10 planetary defense, and resistance forces, which is plus 10 resistance. I'm going to go with defensive fortifications in this case, and then we've already passed the first year without me even realizing. Oi, you two. Get over there. Hey, hey, hey. You're not supposed to be in a fleet. Eject. You can go that away. So, 5 worlds down. Plenty more to go. More debris fields. Ooh, that went down the wrong way. Ah, pirate base. These are the shipyards I was referring to in the first episode that produce ships slowly. As time goes on, they produce bigger and bigger ships. And that is bottle number 2 down the hatch. Research has just finished into defensive fortifications. So for now, with a basic knowledge of weapon systems, I am going to move back over to engineering, and what I'm going to produce next is ion drive, which allows the construction of improved hyperdrives, basically the ion drive and ion thrusters. And let that just carry on. Economic stimulus on the Anshar-Kine 1. Oh, wait, no. Shipyard, which will be ready in 10 turns. Then economic stimulus. We're finding more stuff out there in the black. And I really am wondering, whoa, when I'm going to run into someone, he says, and there is somebody else's influence. Who are you? Trattoria. Hey, Colette. It's your dude. Great. Trattoria is my next door neighbour. Although I really am wondering why they've not contacted me yet. Or is it just a case of I can see them but they can't see me? Ah! Greetings, Scythians. Will you fill your worlds with advanced labs or industrial factories? Either is fine with us as long as you leave them undefended. Colette. Teach your bastards some manners. Together, I'm sure we can build a better galaxy. Remain peaceful and we will have no quarrel with you, Kuroki. I'm going with that one. Trade offer. Ooh. They want 1 Durantium for soil enhancement. I'm sure we can do better than that. I ain't giving you my Durantium. Not now, not ever. But I do want your soil enhancement and your targeting specialization. And your resistance forces. Because those are all things I don't have. But I am going to offer you hyperdrive, diplomatic reasoning, supported population, enhanced production, miniaturization and defensive fortifications, and just a few pennies in regards for a few technologies that are just a little bit more advanced than mine. So this is where, after first contact with the Tratorian meritocracy, I then kicked myself because soil enhancement was +1 food, wasn't it? Or was it +1 growth? What did I just trade for? Tech tree. +1 food and +1 production. Right. Okay. So I can't improve the quality of my worlds any further, but I do get another point of population on each world. Oh. SSS build. Wow. Name. And yeah, the Tratorian ship. Although for some reason the white that was in the ship designer has turned into a vague kind of beige. Yeah, it's kind of gone beige on you, Colette. Sorry about that. They were supposed to be white. Oh well, you can go that way. You can go that way. And it does seem to be the outer periphery of their empire, so they might not have that many colonizable worlds. I didn't think to check. But there we go, that was first contact. We managed to trade some stuff. And I suppose now is as good a time as ever to open up the diplomacy tab. So I am second. And they are first. Tratorian Republic, unfriendly. You are weak, but you have more in diplomacy, you have a ship in our zone of control, and we have shared borders. Wow. So you guys are already giving me the attitude. Asshole. How dare you? Your shared borders are making my advisors irritable. Please stay on your side. Well, I'll try. In fact, I will even go so far as decommissioning the second Intrepid. How does that make you feel? And then I'll hit the turn button. See if you can cut across there and reveal a couple of spaces by taking a shortcut. Because this whole radius is out of my range, but I'm telling my ship to go from one space of my range to the other. Whoa, 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 whoa. He started nicking my thulium and my Durantium from the Vizard system. Are we going to have problems, Colette? Am I going to have to smack down a bitch? Because I will. You know I will. In fact, if I'm going to have to smack down a bitch already, I'm opening bottle number 3. The Anshai Khan shipyards are now ready, so I get to assign which planets are feeding resources to which shipyards. Oh, shut up about the shared borders. But there we go, Anshai Khan shipyard. And we're going to start pumping out constructors. Oh. What the? I didn't tell you to go that way. I wanted to go across to Scythia and rush my next colony ship. Tourism. Ooh, plus 50% tourism income to all races. Fill up this next Scythian colony ship and send it off to the Werner system. now have an idle shipyard, so I'm going to build a few more constructors from Scythia, and then just see how it all turns out. Agricultural adaptation is completed, so now we need an optimization plus 1 food, plus 1 food. Let's fill our worlds with as many peoples as we can. More credits from Lost and Found. Ah, right, it's definitely a periphery world over there. Oh, shut up about the shared borders, Kuroki. Seriously, Colette, tell your people to calm their fucking tits. Really? Huckleberry Starbase. Mining. Oh, we are going to have issues. You and me are going to have some fucking issues. Precursor builders. Upon being sent to your nearest colony for study, this strange precursor artifact releases thousands of tiny worker bots that almost immediately complete the planetary project in progress. Sadly, they shut down after completion. Just finished a factory on Malius 2. Yeah, there we go. Let's get some research laboratories set up then. And Werner 2. Leftover robots. Planet was once the home of a fairly advanced alien species that created some extremely long-lasting sub-sentient AI systems. Something you've done has triggered these systems' defensive protocols, and now anyone who ventures outside the colony is at risk from attack from the primitive robotic creatures. Defensive measures. Let's go with pragmatic for now. And we can set up some factories now the robots are gone. And start preparing the surface a little better for colonization. And with Werner 2 now under control, the Intrepid can explore a little bit more. So, your people are calling to us to learn the proper way to live. Yeah, you're going to discover we're tougher than we look. And with Colette being a pain in the dick, well, not Colette, but Kuroki, but keep those Stratorians under control, we are going to end episode 2 of Galactic Brikwars. So until the next time, ta-ta for now.